Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another SHOUTCraft Clan War right here on MLG TV. My name is TotalBiscuit, and it's my absolute pleasure to bring you a phenomenal lineup today. Not that we don't have that many days which have stacked phenomenal lineups, but today in particular is a little silly. Have a look at that. Take a gander. What a great lineup. Got some awesome players from both sides, actually. I am sending out some real heavy hitters. Opening up with Trap. Not messing around, no doubt about that. They've got their team of Lucky and Ruin in the 2v2. I have to wonder whether or not that will even be relevant for them. Have they practiced? Do we know? I mean, we're not sure. So far, the Korean team's not done incredibly well in the 2v2, with the MVP lot being certainly an exception to that rule. Then what do we got? Yonghwa. I mean, talk about an incredible Pro League player. Squirtle, incredible Pro League player. Ruin and Byul. Strong players. But Liquid isn't slouching either. Opening up with their new acquisition, Bunny. And then they got Bunny and Snoot on their 2v2 team. Tasia will be playing for the first time today, which is in itself awesome. We didn't actually expect Tasia to come out too much in this clan war, but he's coming out. They're sending him out. On map 3, in fact. They're playing it seriously this time around. He'll be facing up against Yonghwa. That's going to be an incredible fight in and of itself. And then we've got Mana versus Squirtle. We've got Snoot taking on Ruin, and Wrecking Byul. And Rhett's going to be coming out for the first time here. Liking it. Well, let's have a look at who is coming out first. Talk a little bit about that matchup, and we'll get right into it. There we go. Wonderful. So, Trap versus Bunny. So, Bunny is, so far, I would say, an unproven acquisition for Team Liquid. He hasn't really managed to gain too much under the Liquid banner so far, but he hasn't really been around for long either. So, we need to see how well he can perform here against a Protoss player. Last time we went up against a Zerg, couldn't really handle it. It was Dongray Gu, so we're not really calling him a Zerg, are we? That's not your typical average Zerg. But he put up a good fight. Dongray Gu eventually picked him apart, and now he has to go up against Trap, who is really, really good at what he does. Incredibly good. Will he be up to the task? We will find out. I'm going to check if Trap and Bunny are ready to rock and roll. And, on paper, I'd say Trap has this, but what we've learned from the Clan Wars up to this point is that nobody has it. And most of our predictions are completely and utterly wrong. So we will see. Foreigner win rate right now, by the way, I believe is over 60% in this Clan War. If you can actually believe that. Ludicrous win rate. I believe it might even be higher than that. We'll have to check. But I'm about ready to get started. Trap is ready. Bunny is ready. So we will begin. Sweet Aqua. Yes, I did mention in the previous Clan War I wouldn't be casting this. Well, I made some changes because I really want to cast this Clan War, so I decided, you know what? Instead of driving down to the event tonight, let's just go early in the morning tomorrow, and I'll do my speaking engagement then. So, there you go. Thought you might enjoy one more cast for the month. And then, of course, we'll have April's shows. We're not really sure what's going on with that as of yet, but I will get the schedule to you as quickly as I can. Let us begin! To the southwest position, the Clan War begins. In the red trunks, playing Protoss, it's Incredible Miracles Trap. Versus his opponent to the northeast position. In the blue trunks, playing Terran, Liquid Bunny. Am I wrong in believing that Liquid Bunny would be a really well... there'll be a really well-branded lubricant, I would think. You could definitely sell that. I think most people would dig a lubricant called Liquid Bunny. It has certain connotations to it. I can't imagine that that was in his consideration, however, when he joined Team Liquid. I'm not sure how many teams Bunny could actually join without some weird connotation being put in there. I am Bunny. No, same problem. Bunny Prime. The worst of the Transformers. I don't know if he's the worst of the Transformers, though. I can definitely think of some far worse names that would go with Prime. Alright, Gateway. Trap's Gateway positioning is interesting. I have to wonder what that's all about. I don't think it indicates too much necessarily, but it's kind of tucking it off to the side there. A little bit interesting. Bunny not bothering with the wall off here. Looking to go for the 12-12 by the looks of it. And we'll see what comes of that. So most likely Reaper from him, just for a little bit of scouting. I'll certainly be into... we need some polls. That's what we need for this show. I'm going to try and work on that for April's Clan Wars. Let's get a live poll that I can bring up. That would be amazing. Not sure just how convenient that is. You know, the liquid horse looks particularly good on this map, thanks to the cracked texture of the ground here. Looks like it has been there for a long time. It's an ancient artifact of forgotten battles. There we go. Bunny's Reaper's on the way. And the probe scout's what it needs to see, and we'll be on the way out. There's the cybernetics core going down here for trap. Talk about putting all your buildings in one place. This is crammed in there. I wonder where the next pylon's going to go. There's one at the back, so we know where 2 pylons are. Where is the 3rd pylon going to go? Because that could be indicative of a number of things. He also hasn't taken his 2nd gas yet. And I don't really blame him for that. You're pretty much guaranteed to be scouted at this point. A Reaper is going to make its way into the base, assuming an SCV doesn't. And it will probably see what you're doing. So if you're looking to do any kind of cheese, or any kind of quick tech build, you might want to try and keep it hidden. So Trap playing ultra conservative right now, for the moment anyway. He's got the mothership core out. Admittedly, the lack of gas here could be indicative of something, but I think Trap's just going to want to expand at this point. So there he goes. There's the reactor. Bunny with just a classic build. It's the 12-12 and the Reaper, followed by it, but this is a little weird. Generally, you don't see a second barracks following this up. Usually, you'd see a factory going down here, so I wonder what Bunny's planning. It's going to get scouted as well. That probe's going to get in there. It's even going to get a little bit of harass done. Mothership core drives away the Reaper. Stalker is now on the way as well, so... Oh, he's adding another barracks. Huh. Well, this is interesting. This is really interesting. So one got... Yeah, both got scouted, actually. So Bunny has no problem letting that be seen. This is a little odd. He's even mining from only 1 refinery, which is even stranger. So that indicates, of course, that... There we go, he's put 2 more in. I wonder if that was deliberate. It seems like a very well-timed-out build, where he pulls from gas to get those 2 barracks down straight after the CC, and then goes back into gas. Now, what's the effect of this? Well, the obvious effect is it's going to have a lot of Marines very quickly. He's also building a tech lab, so he could be looking for a stim timing. But traditionally, stim timings don't really work anymore, and that's mostly due to the mothership core. And of course, with a lack of tech, he doesn't even have a factory, so he's nowhere near getting drop tech out. Well, it seems like that was a bit of an error. We're going to have a Marauder-heavy force here. Concussive Shell. This is cool. This is a very old kind of Wings of Liberty-esque build. Building Concussive Shell so early, getting Marauders out so early. I wonder if he's going to put a second tech lab on here and continue to pump Marauder production. And I also wonder if that's enough to actually pop a Nexus in certain circumstances. Now, what is this designed to be up against? I wonder. Well, 2 more gateways are being added on here. Just at the back. So Trap just went for the Robo. I mean, he's playing about as safe as you can get, really. Safe and standard. Nothing out of the ordinary. But Bunny is doing anything... It's not doing anything of the sort, really. He's actually gone back to building Marines. I wonder if that was just because he wanted to save gas for the factory and the stim. He only has 1 Marauder in there. But it's a nice little build, though. Look at what he was able to accomplish already with this push-out. Thanks to the Concussive Shell, the Stalker couldn't get away. He now gains full map control. He can poke at the front and force a Photon Overcharge out, because you can't ignore a force this large. I mean, there's only 1 sentry. Trap has no units. So this is actually going to get damage done, even if Photon Overcharge does go down. And the Marauder could potentially tank a lot of that damage. Gets a probe, gets a Stalker, pulls out. Is now working on tech. And since we're not seeing any fast tech from Trap, he's just going up to... He just 1 gate robo into 2 more gateways into a forge. He's playing for the longer game. And Bunny's actually fine doing what he's doing. He's okay delaying all of his technology here. It doesn't really matter that he doesn't have it yet. And here's the thing, once that Photon Overcharge goes down, he can think about poking again. But that Mothership core did come out earlier. I have to wonder if Bunny was hoping that the core would be delayed, in which case that there just wouldn't be as much Photon Overcharge energy. Going in here again without combat shields, it can be risky. I mean, he's going into a choke point against sentries. He might get a Stalker out of this, maybe. Bear in mind that these guys don't have stim either, but he pushes forward, 1 sentry down, looks to try and get another. The force fields are not that great. The Marauder will get caught out, but in fact, the Zealots can't even get anywhere near that, and Bunny needs to pull back now. He's got a couple more probes. He's going to lose a couple more Marines for it, but that's not too bad. So he gets, what, 4 workers? He killed 2 sentries, 2 stalkers, and 2 Zealots for the cost of 6 Marines and a Marauder. I'm okay with that trade. My problem now is that he's got to deal with Colossus that are coming in, so the Colossus tech has now begun. Trap doesn't really have a lot of gas yet, but he will be able to mine it up fairly quickly, so he doesn't have that extended thermal lance as of yet. Bunny's only just now getting his medevacs out. But Bunny does have this really big, scary army. The problem is that this big, scary army, and that was just a beautiful spot there by Bunny. Observer wasn't even moving. He was able to see the blur as he went underneath it. That was absolutely fantastic. Alright. Bunny now going for the drop play, but also pushing out. Will he spot the second one? No. No, he's probably focused on his drop right now. Well, this could definitely do something. Let's see. So, both photon overcharges have been used. Yep, the mothership core is pretty much out of energy at this point. He's going to threaten the front. Will he spot that observer? Yeah, there's a little blurs here and there, but he doesn't get it. And now he's just going to drop right into the main base. I just want to point out, Bunny's been doing all of this without combat shields, which is really, really strange for this stage of the game. But he's going for it. He's going to get 1 Zealot, 2 Zealot, 3 Zealot, and right into the main mineral line. And the Colossus will come in, but of course he's now going to pull out and leave. He lost 1 Marine for lost mining time, and he stims right into the base again. This is 1-2 punch here, which is coming, quite frankly, in larger numbers than you would expect at this stage, even if it is without the combat shield upgrade. And this force will be cleaned up. The drop comes in again. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Shuts down the Artosis pylon, which gets 4 buildings, gets out of there again. Bunny. Well, I am impressed. He's working on his 3rd base right now. And up to this point, Trap has not even been able to get a single piece of harassment in. He has been held back. And Bunny gained some pretty crucial scouting information. He knows there is Colossus out, so he needs to be thinking about Vikings and a heavier Marauder count in order to deal with that. And that's fine. Little stim forward there, not really sure what that was all about, but never mind. He's got his 3rd base, and there's a pylon back there that he needs to clean up because there's a Zealot run-by possibility. Trap needing the pause here. Alright, that's fine. What I'd like to see, actually, is a wall-off on this ramp. Let me show you what I mean here. So if we go back to the game screen for a second, this area right here, I'd love to see a little supply depot wall-off, because putting a pylon down here gives you access to 2 bases with Zealot run-bys, either this base or the natural. A wall-off with supply depots would actually shut that down completely. So that's something to consider there. I think that would be pretty cool. We'll see if Bunny decides to do that. But up to this point, Bunny has been in the driver's seat. Absolutely. Absolutely. What Trap does have going for him, however, is a Warp Prism. So he could attack the main, and there aren't really a lot of units in the main to stop it. So that could do some damage. That could start to get him back into the game. I, unfortunately, do not understand a word the Trap is saying, because he's currently typing in the chat in Korean. Okay. Okay. We can give him a couple of minutes. Apparently, he has some latency issues. We're just looking into that right now. Obviously, we can give him a couple of minutes to try and resolve it. But unfortunately, we can't fix that kind of thing. Alright. Okay, we're just going to have to get this sorted out, folks. My apologies for this. As I say, Trap is currently complaining of some latency problems, so we're trying to get that resolved. Okay. We'll be right back, folks. Sorry. We will be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in. We are back in. So, Trap has elected to simply continue the play. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully his lag's not too bad. As you might imagine, we do alternate between servers, and as we have an EU... I'm not really sure what Bunny's stimming is all about. It's really, really odd. He's been doing that a couple of times now. Anyway, oh, he's stimming back to deal with this, of course. Never mind. It's like, oh, he's stimming in that direction. Why, oh, why, oh, why? That's because the Zealots in the base. That's why. Most of the SCVs will pull down to the natural. The Zealot run-by will be cleaned up momentarily, but it did delay the armory, which is not too good, since Bunny was looking for the 2-2. Should get finished off, and 6 workers killed by that run-by. The Warp Prism gets out as well. Bunny did attempt to intercept it with Vikings, but he didn't manage it, so Bunny is taking just a little bit of harassment damage, and now Trap's really got something on the board there, which is nice for him, but let's be honest, Bunny still has that base up, which is going to become a problem if it continues to keep going. We could see a Zealot run-by here from the bottom, and in fact, Trap actually has pylons down the bottom here as well. But yeah, as I was saying before, both of these players are actually playing on NA, so they should have about equal lag. Every time we do a match between EU and Korean players, we always have it on NA, because Korea to Europe is a really bad connection and vice versa. So NA is the fairest for both players. Dark Shrine coming down here for Trap. I like that idea, especially considering that Bunny can't necessarily defend 3 places at once, even with the... Oh, another drop coming in. Oh, a couple of Zealots going to come down. Even with the missile turrets, you can't necessarily leave units around all the time, and nice pick off of the Warp Prism there. Wow. Bunny actually has a lot of Vikings. This is getting to the point where you don't want to build any more Colossus, unless you want to say, oh, right, well, you know what? I'm going Templar. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm just going to build a ton of Colossus, and your 8 Vikings won't be enough. But right now, we are seeing Dark Shrine, which could indicate Archons. Of course, could just indicate Dark Templar as well, but Zealot Charge is being added in here as well. So upgrades-wise, shockingly enough, Trap's actually ahead, and he should finish his 2-2 well before Bunny does. So we'll see how that works out, but Bunny is looking for a fight. Does he have enough units for it? Well, his army supply certainly tells an ugly story here for Trap. Trap has a couple of sentries, but it looks like Bunny is trying to fight in an area where that won't matter so much, and this would be perfect. I think Trap realizes he doesn't want to fight there. He wants to pull back into this choke point, warp in some more units, and get ready to go. And he's actually forced the army out of position. Lovely play by Bunny. He forces that army back, and then snipes the Nexus. And now, I mean, he could just get out now, but I mean, he's feeling like he wants to fight. He's forced a Photon Overcharge out. I mean, this is a victory alone for Bunny. I would pull back at this stage, and I think Bunny realizes, hey, why fight? You know, why take the risk of getting force fielded and then Colossus to death and then rolled over? You just snipe the 3rd base. Awesome. Pull back. Your job is done. And that's exactly what Bunny is thinking here as well. He wants his 2-2 to finish. He wants to get Ghost Academy up. He wants everything prepared. Dark Templar are being warped in at the side here, and this is why this wall-off would have been lovely, but I've yet to actually see a player wall-off there. But they got spotted already, and Bunny shuts down all 3? 3. Wow, that is, I mean, that's a very expensive investment. This missile turret has range, man. It saw all the way down there, and that just revealed the pylon. So that was actually a disaster for Trap, losing 4 DTs for no gain there. Absolutely worthless, and Bunny is going to continue to push forward. Those 4 DTs could have been a much larger army here for Trap. Trap's going to try it again. Zealot and DT mix this time, probably into the main base to do yet more damage. But this army from Bunny is killer. This army from Bunny could very, very easily kill Trap at this point. It has the firepower necessary. 2-2 is now finished, so the upgrade lead for Trap is gone. And I think the Bunny just wants to go in for the kill. He's got a lot of Marauders in there. His Viking count is certainly high enough to deal with that many Colossus. It's now up to 5, which is a scary number, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of Marauder beef in the army, so I wouldn't worry too much. Sentry force field's now going down here, and Bunny, does Bunny really want to fight into that corridor? He's feeling it. He wants to go for it. I mean, he does have a lot of Vikings, and the Stalker count isn't huge, so he is just going to try and force his way through here with maximum firepower, and it looks like he might have enough to do it. The Colossus are going to fall. There are too many Terran units. GG. Incredible miracle fails in the first game, and Team Liquid picks it up. Nice performance by Bunny. Very good. Very good. Let's see if the foreigners for Team Liquid can actually keep that pace up. I mean, that was great. Bunny just played an almost flawless game there. I loved his opening. I don't see that too much. It was a little bit more aggressive. Conventional wisdom says you don't do that because of Photon Overcharge, but what Bunny says is, look, if I get one Marauder, I know I can catch that Scouting Stalker out. I know I can kill it. I know I can go into his base and do some damage. I don't have to worry too much about Photon Overcharge. I'm not going to engage for a long fight. I just want to go in there, do some damage, get out. Go in, get out. And just try and hold back my opponent. And it did the job. It absolutely did. So I like Bunny's opener there. Bit skeptical about that initially, but it seemed to do exactly what he was hoping for. It did delay tech. I mean, it delayed Stim a lot. But since Trap wasn't really playing aggressively, that doesn't really matter too much. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, folks. The next map in this particular clan war will be a 2v2. We're going to be having Sacred Path, Bunny and Snoot versus Lucky and Ruin. We'll be right back after the break. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. You ready for the 2v2? I certainly hope so, because we're beginning right now. Bunny and Snoot will take on Ruin and Lucky. Currently, we are up 1 game for Team Liquid in the Best of 7 Clan War after Bunny put on an absolutely stellar performance. Really, really great TVP. And Trap didn't really... I mean, he didn't get a look in, honestly. Outside of that 1 Warp Prism drop, everything else he tried to do got shut down really hard, so... Bunny looking good. Going into this next one, the question is, how is his 2v2? And more to the point, how is IM's 2v2? The last time we saw them play 2v2 was against EG, of course, and it... Well... Yeah, it didn't really go so well for them. So I wonder if they prepared. We will find out. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Team Liquid, represented in the blue trunks playing Terran by Bunny, and in the red trunks playing Zerg by Snoot here on Sacred Path, versus their opponents to the southeast position. Formerly of FXO, rest in peace, Fo Yu. Now of Incredible Miracle, it is Lucky. And his teammate, in the baby blue, it is Ruin. Alright, so Zerg and Protoss is not necessarily a common composition that we see all that much. We've seen a lot of Terran and Zerg, for obvious reasons. There are some really good builds that work very well. That said, we have seen some awesome builds from Protoss that involve going for a Forged Wall-Off in the center, which is very effective. That said, we probably will not be seeing that from Ruin by the looks of it. He's put his first pylon in his base. Now, Protoss are a little bit limited in what they can do, and that is a 10 pull from Snoot. We might just be... Oh, we're going to see 10 pull Hellion, I think. Yeah, it's gas first, 10 pull Hellion. Most likely a very swift rush build here from Team Liquid. Could be something else. Might be for the world's fastest Banshee, but it seems unlikely. 10 pull Hellion makes much more sense here. Now, if they haven't practiced this 2v2, this is going to be a very swift end for them, because this kind of gateway expand build that Ruin is doing, and what looks to be a gas, and then sort of, we actually do have a 10 pull from Lucky as well. The problem with not going for early defensive units is that even if you do a 10 pull versus your opponent's 10 pull, then it doesn't matter, because the opponent's 10 pull is also accompanied by Hellions from the Terran player, so that doesn't really work out so well. Hang on a minute. Did Snoot cancel? Interesting. He did have a pull down, didn't he? Is it just based on the scouting information he got? He didn't really learn much. He's gone into a 15 pull now. That's strange. Huh. Oh, alright then. Fair enough. He was definitely going for that 10 pull. They seem to have switched up strategies here. Very interesting. Okay, well, what's Bunny up to? Well, he's got his barracks coming down. He can immediately go into a factory here, and that's what he's going to do. So we'll most likely see a reactor come down on this barracks. And there we go. And then we'll see the Hellions coming out. But Snoot didn't want to go for the super early pull here, whereas Lucky very much did. Does it gain Lucky an advantage, though? Not really. Not from this kind of position. He's got a couple of lings out on the map, but what's he going to be able to do with them? Nothing, really. So, not too much of an edge. So I kind of like what Snoot did there. Even I wonder if he either realized what his opponent was doing, or if he just kind of took a gamble on that. Let's see Stargate out of Ruin. I do like Stargate on this map, because the 2 bases are actually separated. So having mobile air units is very powerful here. Got a lot of lings coming out here from Lucky. I wonder what he'll elect to do. I mean, if there's going to be a solid wall off here, he can't really attack the Terran. Lucky is going to not get in, as that is actually a wall off, if you can believe it. Doesn't look like one, but it is a wall off. So we're not going to see him get in anytime soon. It's a bit of a weird, wonky wall off, but it's kind of wall off I used to do when I completely screwed everything up. But this is very deliberate here by Bunny. Snoot's adding in some Banelings, though, and Lucky's going to put a Spinecrawler up, but my concern is that if Lucky runs into those Banelings, that could be night-night. We have an Oracle coming out from Ruin. Again, I love that. I mean, it kills pretty much all of those light units dead very, very fast. Good against Lings, very good against Lings, if it can keep up. Oracles are very fast, but Speedlings are faster. But they will do a lot of damage. And, of course, if you don't defend the back of your base, well, Oracles have a whale of a time attacking here. I mean, look at it. There's no way for them to kind of get run into a corner and killed. So I like this choice here from Ruin. This is weird. This is interesting, actually. Lucky has just avoided that attack entirely. I think he intends to cut off the reinforcements here. He finds the Banelings. The couple of Hellions are coming in, but Lucky is actually well defended against this. So this shouldn't be too much of a problem. I love the interception coming on here from Lucky. Just picking off a Baneling or two. Really great control. So that's 2 Banelings already dead. Snoot looking for the push here. The Oracle has made its way into the base and is dealing fairly massive damage, but the Viking has come up to defend against it. So will Snoot's attack work? Lucky is really well walled off here. I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. The Queen may go down, but the Oracle comes in to defend. Ruin. Well, I think that answers the question as to whether or not the Koreans prepared for the 2v2. They damn well did, and Ruin is having a field day against these light units, and Snoot's attack completely deflected. We have a 2v2 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. These guys know what they're doing. Very cool. All right. Yet another bad Baneling hit there from Snoot. Very unexpected. Lucky looking for the defense. We're going to have to see more Oracles come out. There's actually 3 on the field here. So they will need to come in to defend because this second wave is on its way, trying to work its way through the Queens. Great transfuses here from Lucky. And the Oracle comes in to chase this away again. Great defense from the Korean team here. Absolutely lovely. Where are the rest of the Oracles, you might wonder? Well, there's one over here, and there's one kind of over here doing nothing. But it is getting some energy back. So far, Lucky has managed to hold on. That said, he has lost a lot of drones. So, can he continue to stay in this game? Well, Snoot's only on 13. Yeah. And the SCV count of Bunny was reduced as well. So Ruin is kind of the guy with the economy right now. And he is continuing to build Oracles. He was up to 4 there. He's now down to 3. He must have lost one somewhere. I'm not really sure how that happened. Difficult to track in 2v2, unfortunately, folks. Workers lost is not something that we can show units lost, but yeah, it's not ideal. I'm sorry. Most of that functionality is not available in 2v2. Now the attack comes in. Bunny looking to try and do damage to the Protoss player. And he brings it in with Snoot as well. That's the photon overcharge, though, which is probably going to be enough to drive this away. Not too much of a problem. Where are the Oracles? Another Oracle fell. Ruin's control, shaky by the looks of it. Especially with these Vikings on the field. He may need to elect to try to do something else, and I think that's why he's building more gateways in here. Bunny and Snoot looking to attack once again, trying to do yet more damage. Ruin's economy still looking good, but Bunny's economy actually looking better at this point. Alright. Little Ling run by coming out here. Lucky went in against Snoot. Didn't really do too much damage. Got shut down by spawning Lings. And Lucky also pushing his way out himself. Who's going tech? Well, Ruin's going tech. I wonder what kind of tech, though. Ooh, that's not good. And this is going to be a problem here for Lucky. But the Oracles are coming in, so maybe not. But they're not really getting good shots off, are they? Not exactly. A couple of Vikings coming in here as well. This is a really nice play here from Bunny, because he realizes, hey, look how powerful Oracles are for picking off all our light units. Let's get some Vikings to cover this. And now there's big attacks coming in, and I don't think Lucky actually has what he needs to hold this. Now, we'll have to see Protoss reinforcements coming in, and they're just not ready yet. So I have a feeling Lucky's going to lose most of his economy here. Those Vikings are going to shut down the Oracles very quickly. Lucky tries to hold. He gets most of his drones out of the way here. Ruin looking for a counterattack by air. Ruin also bringing in his units to try and get the cleanup here. He does have enough units to clean that up, but will his teammate have anything left of his base by the time he gets there? More to the point. In come the Oracles. The Vikings again driving them away. Another Oracle falls here. The spawning pool is getting focused down. The units coming in from Ruin, but they're maybe a little bit too late, and these Zealots are too far behind as well. These Stalkers are going to get caught out. Not really what you want here. There's a lot of Hellions, and suddenly it looks like Liquid may have got the upper hand here. The Oracle play is now pretty much over. The Stalkers are getting surrounded by Hellions and killed. A Baneling, I don't know what the Baneling's doing. It's just spectating by the looks of it. The single lone Oracle remaining here for Ruin is just trying to do more damage, and the Protoss is still a bit of a powerhouse here. He's looking to try and get Blink out, and is continuing to work on that. Not much left of Lucky's economy. His spawning pool's going to fall again by the looks of it. It's a bit of a costly engagement if Bunny and Snoot want to deal with the rest of it because of the Spine Crawlers and the Queen, but with the spawning pool down, Lucky can't really do much. And he's just trying to hold on to his economy as best he can here. Maybe trying to feed minerals to his teammate, just so that Ruin can try and get a really good Blink Stalker force up, because I don't know. I mean, Snoot can just keep building Lings, so I'm not really even convinced by that. It sounds like a good idea in theory, but in come the Banelings! They connect against the Spinecrawler inefficiently, but I don't think that really matters. The Queen's now been driven back into a corner. The Vikings have landed. And it's now up to Ruin. That's assuming that he can get anything together whatsoever for this. More of a long drawn-out fight between these two, but Ruin's basically dead. He doesn't have anything left. He's got 7 lava and 2 overlords, and not much money, and no hatchery either, so that's not great. So now it really is up to Ruin. Can he make this work with Blink Stalkers? And a Mothership Core, and 1 Oracle. I guess we're about to find out. I mean, there's so many so many Hellions here, he's got to be careful about that. But let's see what he can do. He's up to 12 Blink Stalkers. So he will be able to kill off the Vikings, which will be nice. There's the aggressive Blink forward. The Lings are there, though. Oh, actually, it looks like Snoot wants to collapse that. I don't agree with that notion. That is actually not a particularly good idea, because Ruin can blink across those rocks, whereas the Liquid guys really can't. So I'm not really sure what that was all about. Oh, blink on the Vikings, and most of those are going to die. Although Ruin will take some damage. He's got to watch out for those Hellions. A lot of shots will do the job. A few Stalkers dying here as well. Blink Stalker Micro comes in. He tries to jump across the rocks and fails, losing a couple more Stalkers. Admittedly, Ruin is actually kind of secure at the moment. Down goes the Mothership Core as well, but, oh, man. Bunny's going to build Cloak Banshee, which I like a lot, because there is actually no detection here for Ruin. Oh, actually, he does have the single Oracle, which he somehow managed to keep alive here. So he could use that for detection as long as it actually survives. But Bunny's expanded now, and Snoot is expanding as well, so we're going to have to see some incredible play here from Ruin if he wants to pull this back in favor of Incredible Miracle. Lots of shots coming off here from those Hellions as well. And AoE works, you know, it may not be designed against Stalkers, but it does a lot of damage. The Hellions will get picked off, and Ruin's Blink Stalker Micro is kind of keeping him in the game for a while. He hasn't expanded yet, though. He's going to kill the entire army, though, and he's going to try and do some more damage. And there isn't actually anything left for Bunny outside of that Banshee. And Cloak is not done yet, so Ruin is actually holding on here for Incredible Miracle. Oh, and he's bringing... I love it. He's bringing the Oracle as well. He knows the Vikings are down, so this is a perfect opportunity here. But Ruin doesn't want to... Uh-oh. Oh, did he stop Cloak? I think he just canceled Cloak. The tank is done. The tank is down. Ruin is still fighting. Bunny's economy is taking a lot of damage here, but the Lings look like they're going to get to clean up. The Oracle kind of still working on it. Ruin's going to lose the rest of his units here, but he's still holding on. What a tenacious bastard Ruin is. The Banshee taking yet more damage. Could see a blink forward to kill that off. And, it goes down. He canceled Cloak at the last minute as well. Well, this is a weird game. Ruin is holding on for dear life. He's holding on for dear life. The Zealots make their way into the mineral line here. Ruin fighting on his own with no support from his teammate, who is basically being gutted and destroyed. And he's still fighting. And he's still doing damage. Bunny's economy is basically shot, and I think he's about to lose the last few units he's got. Admittedly, he will still have mules, so, you know, it's not like he's completely out, but a lot of damage has been inflicted to Bunny here, to the point where he's almost out of the game entirely, and this Oracle is going to be hugely useful, I think. Oh, Bunny's got enough to build 1 more Viking, though, and 2 tanks have just been built by Bunny. Where did he get the money for those? He somehow managed to pull some tanks out here. I would have loved to see Ruin actually snipe the tech lab to prevent that from happening. Ruin's going to lose the rest of his Stalkers now. And I think... Is this GG? Will Ruin continue to fight after this? No, he will not. GG! A brave attempt there by Ruin, but... Where did... I gotta ask, where did Bunny pull those tanks from? Because, you know, I would have loved to see Ruin just kill off that tech lab and stop tanks from coming in. Because I think he could have kept the Stalkers alive and continued to macro. That was cool. Ruin held on really well there, and that counter-attack did a huge amount of damage. It wasn't quite enough, though, and Team Liquid go up 2 games to 0. Alright, folks. It's the match you've all been waiting for. Neo Jungle Valley, Tasia versus Yonghwa on Korea. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be good. We'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this SHOUTCraft Clan War. We have the moment you've all been waiting for. Tasia is out on the field here for Team Liquid. I'm not sure if they need him. Not based on what's been happening so far. I think, frankly, they're looking pretty good. At this point, Foreigners fighting. Good pick up on the 2v2 and Buddy taking out Trap. It's just kind of ridiculous when you think about it, considering the bloody Pro League win rate on Trap. It's like, yeah, I'm losing to Bunny. Okay. It happens. That's Clan Wars for you. It's all preparation. If you don't prepare, well, you can get absolutely boned by someone who does. All right. Let's get back into it then. So, Tasia versus Yonghwa. It's going to be right here on Neo Jungle Valley. It should be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's a good fight. If it's not a good fight, I'll be very disappointed. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Neo Jungle Valley. It's my pleasure to bring you for Team Liquid. In the red trunks, playing Terran to the northeast, Tasia. Versus his opponent to the southwest position. In the blue trunks, playing Protoss. Incredible player in his own right. And of course from Team Incredible Miracle. His name is Yonghwa. Alright, well. Yonghwa is incredibly good. And he's also very good in this clan war. His win rate in this clan war is kind of solid. And interestingly enough, on this very map, he was the one who took out Jaedong in the first match between IM and EG. And strangely enough, it was the only map they picked up. So, here's hoping this is not a repeat performance here from Incredible Miracle. We do want to see a little bit better than that. So far, of course, they're down 2 games. Losing the 2v2, I can definitely understand that. 2v2 is kind of anyone's game. And, of course, it's not something that all that many pros actually practice. Tasia going gas first play here. I wonder what that's for. Bear in mind that this is a map that is semi-island. So, I wonder if this is actually for really, really fast Banshee. Certainly a possibility, I think. You know, just really fast Banshee on this map would probably do the job. But it may be for something like a Hellion drop. That's possible too. I'm just surprised the trap went down so easily to Bunny. But Bunny did present an absolutely superb TVP game. Nothing you could really argue with in Bunny's play there. Everything was meticulous. Everything was calculated. Down to the wire. I'm going to see a Nexus first here from our Incredible Miracle Protoss. Alright. It seems reasonable on this map. But, consider, you can get very much caught out by certain plays. This is a map that is a semi-island, meaning that there's no way into the other player's base outside of air without knocking these rocks down and then these rocks down, at a bare minimum, depending on which path you want to go down. So, this has led some players to adopting very greedy playstyles, believing that they are essentially untouchable. And it has also resulted in some of those players falling foul to some very, very nasty 1 or even 2 base kind of all-in or tech-heavy plays. I mean, do you call it a cheese if it's impossible to scout? I mean, literally everything would be a cheese. There's the second gas going down. So I do strongly suspect that we will see Banshee here, but it could be something else. The Reaper opening I like here from Tasia. Absolutely. No doubt about that. It's a great map for Reaper. You can scout, whereas your opponent is going to have difficulty doing so. Protoss are really the only race that cannot scout on this map, initially, without using their Mothership Core, which can be a bit of a risk, especially in PvP. We've actually seen 2 Mothership Cores die that way in PvP. They've gone across the map to scout, and they've been shut down by a Phoenix opener, which is very popular here. If you go Stargate with... There's the Tech Lab, so yeah, almost certainly a Banshee play. If you pick up an early Stargate, you can scout, and it can actually do quite a lot of damage as well, because a lot of Terran like to get greedy here too. A lot of Zerg like to get greedy. But so far, it's just been a Nexus first play. So the question is, will he have what he needs to deal with what looks to be inevitably a Cloak Banshee? Well, a Stargate is on the way. And like I said, this has kind of been almost the standard opener for Protoss on this map, with the exception of Yonghwa last time he fought Jaedong, where he just went 2-base blink. But the economy of Yonghwa right now is very strong. He's obviously up to 27 probes versus 21 SCVs up to this point. No real sign of an expansion. The Mothership Core kind of pops out at the perfect time. And it looks like Tasia is going to get a probe. Why not? And he's going to get into the base and scout. And if he's careful, he shouldn't really take any more damage. If he's careful. Stalker is getting chrono boosted out, so Tasia needs to check out and get out. He does miss the Forge at the back. And did he miss the Stargate there? He saw a building. Not sure if he clicked on it. He probably did. Widowmine is on the way out here, so almost certainly he did. He's thinking, alright, there's going to be an Oracle most likely. Need to be able to deal with that. Let's get some Marines, get a Widowmine out. And Cloak Banshee is on the way. And of course, that's not something that Yonghwa knows about. He has no way to scout yet. He will have in a moment. He'll have a Stargate. But he's going to need an Oracle as well, because he currently has no detection. Cloak Banshee will do a lot of damage. A cannon going down would be good too. I think this is something that he's got to think about. It's got to be running through his mind here. I have no idea what my opponent's doing. I have no idea what kind of tech he's going for. I need to prepare for everything. And getting out the Stargate is great, but it's not the fastest Stargate he could have gotten, since he went for the Nexus first, which kind of delayed everything. So now he's going to be, I think, potentially in a little bit of trouble. Banshee is on its way out. He's waiting for Cloak. He's waiting for Cloak. And he's going to see the Phoenix come in as well. He doesn't know if that's real or not. But, oh, he knows it. He knows it's now. All right, he sees that. And he actually forces a Cloak out, which is a really good win here. But Tasia is going to do some damage. If that second Banshee had gone in with full Cloak energy, that could have been an absolute disaster. The Oracle is being built as a detector. In the meantime, though, Tasia's got about 25 more seconds of this, and is going to take as much advantage of it as humanly possible before the Oracle comes out. Doing a lot of damage with this Banshee. 11 kills, 12 kills. That's huge. I mean, that really mitigates the economic advantage that was gained there. Oracle comes out immediately with the Envision. Sees what it needs to see. Tasia's Banshee, his second one was shut down, though. So, again, bit of a win there for Yonghwa. If the second one had gone in there with energy and hit the natural, that could have been a huge problem for Yonghwa. But he's okay. The problem is this Oracle is going to run out of energy soon. And it will not have enough for another Envision for quite some time. He's looking for the Banshee. He finds it. And there's only barely enough energy for a Cloak. And it doesn't matter. It gets shut down completely. So Yonghwa with the catch. How much damage done? 14 workers killed. Not bad. Enough to definitely put Tasia back on an even footing with his opponent economically. So you can say that opener was a success. He wanted to do more with it. He didn't want to lose a second Banshee for nothing. He actually built a third, interestingly enough. Which is... that's actually a good play, because that Oracle is heading over for harassment in the main base, and Tasia's already prepared for it. So this is a really awesome play. Oh, there is a cannon down, though. So there is no cannon in the natural, though. So he could hit that if he realizes. He's gonna... I think he can maybe get a couple of probes there without taking too much cannon damage, if any, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he can sit there and do a bit of damage, which is always good. But there's the photon overcharge kind of burned there. I'd love to see Tasia just loop around and hit that natural there. He doesn't know where the Oracle is, though. He's not certain of this. Oh, he does now, actually. The Widowmine killed it. Wow. As we were watching that. He doesn't know if there's a second Oracle, but he's going to get out. He can suspect there isn't. Observer's coming on the way, though. So, Cloak Banshee, usefulness kind of ended. 3 more kills on that Banshee. Time to leave. Oh, that is unlucky! Wow. Usually a Banshee does not get caught by an Observer like that, but it happened. So, 3 Banshees down plus Cloak for 16 worker kills. I like that for Tasia. It's not too bad. It could have been a lot better, but it's okay. So, he's probably feeling pretty good. And now we're going to see a transition coming out here from Yonghwa. He's going to go for Colossus. He's going to add Blink into there as well. Love Blink on this map. Very good map for that. A little bit of Phoenix Harass is going to be quite annoying. Delays the barracks, and another barracks, actually, from coming down. It's going to even just pick away at these medevacs. Really effective use of these Phoenixes from Yonghwa, actually. Delaying these barracks so much. And that's just going to slow down any push that Tasia's got. If Tasia wants to push out, he's going to have to work on it. And he's just going to go for yet another command center and just try and prepare himself for whatever aggression comes out, which will be Colossus-based. The question is, who knocks down the rocks first? Who's going to go for what here? Well, all these upgrades for Tasia are, of course, very late, but it's okay. He doesn't need Stim. By the 12-minute mark, he will have Stim, which in a normal game would be terrible. But right now, it's actually fine, because those rocks prevented any kind of ground aggression. If it had been a Blink Stalker all in, that could have been a problem, but the Banshees confirmed it wasn't, so Tasia wasn't really in a position to worry. He's also using Widowmines in this force, so, of course, got a fairly recent buff against Protoss. It's good to see Terran integrating that for anything other than just killing Oracles, which is what they're mainly used for here. I love the positioning on this Observer. It's going to spot everything coming in here, and that's going to allow Yonghwa to prepare. What's his count looking at right now? I mean, he should have enough units. It's a bit small, but the Colossus will certainly help. They will not have Lance, though. And there's a decent number of Marauders in here, so Tasia could certainly, with a good engagement, do a lot of damage. And these Widowmines are, of course, the unknown quantity here. Who knows what they're going to do? They may do significant damage. They may do absolutely bloody nothing. Who knows? Will Tasia elect to go for a drop play or a full frontal assault here? He's going to stim forward a Marine, which is going to give him information. The Colossus are kind of out of position, which is a little bit concerning there. Gets a probe, which is more than I think he was expecting. But Tasia's just thinking, all right, do I want to fight? Well, funnily enough, he actually does right now. Without Extended Thermal Lance, he really does. But I don't know if he knows whether the Colossus don't have Thermal Lance. Because they really should have at this point, but they don't. Scan goes down. Widowmine. Ooh, he's going to drop. Okay. He's actually drawn his opponent out of position. Scan goes down as well. He sees the force leaving, though. I wonder if he'll just turn around. Yeah, he does. He was hoping to bait them out a little bit further, I think, but he didn't have that happen. Now the rocks are open, so we can even see some aggression from the Protoss player. Currently 3 base against 3 base, but with the lead here for the Terran, since he got his down much sooner. More mules coming down. Production for Tasia looking really solid. There's the stim. Oh, now he's out of position. Oh, the recall. Okay, but where? Where to? He could maybe even deny the 3rd base. Might be a bit of a risk, but he could try it. Let's see what Tasia wants to do. So he recalled back into the main here. Stalkers are moved into position to defend against this, so good coverage and good awareness of the map here by Yonghwa. Free pylon. Picks it off. Leaves. Nothing too wrong with that. So far, no harassment outside of those 2 Phoenixes just being annoying in general. And I think he's actually using them for map awareness. He wants to spot drops. So he's put them in strategic locations to try and keep an eye on these medevacs. Really neat play by Yonghwa, but he's just playing very passively right now. That could be very dangerous against a 3-base Terran. Tasia's economy is kind of starting to spiral out of control here, and his production facilities are pumping really hard. I mean, just look how low his money is all the time. It's not spiking that high. He's keeping up with this macro very effectively. Liking it a lot. Is he pulling SCVs? He's pulling SCVs. He's going for it. Parade push coming out here from the Terran player. He thinks he's got it. He thinks he has the numbers. He thinks this is the timing to hit. Is he right? Well, army supply-wise, he absolutely is. I don't know if he's got quite enough. There is no storm, so that's maybe important here. The Colossus will certainly clean this army out quite quickly. Will it do the job? I'm worried about these force fields. This is a very, very narrow choke to be fighting in here. But if he gets further in, then he should be okay. Let's see if he was right to throw those SCVs away. Time warps go down here. The force fields are pretty good. They hold back the majority of the army, but there's so little Protoss versus so much Terran, it doesn't matter. Down comes the Terran hammer, and the Protoss player is driven back to his base. So few units left here for Yonghwa. Can he hold on? Another Colossus falls. No time to transition out to Zealots here. Tasia just brings it down. The last Colossus will fall. There's the GG. Liquid goes up 3 games to 0. And an absolute drubbing that Yonghwa suffers there at the hands of Tasia. What a mighty, mighty game indeed. 3-0 for Team Liquid. Looking for the all-kill right here. Will they get it, or will we see IM begin the comeback? The next map is going to be New Polaris Rhapsody. Yet another PvP on this map. It's pretty much the most popular PvP map in our map pool. I'm interested to see how this goes. It's going to be Mana versus Squirtle. We'll find out after the break. Can IM make it the all... Can IM just start the comeback? I mean, even just starting the comeback at this point would be good. Or will Liquid just wipe the floor with them? We'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. And it's been a really, really interesting war so far, with Liquid kind of dominating it. And the question is, can Squirtle bring it back? He's got a PvP, he's up against Liquid Mana, which I'll never get used to saying, by the way, and it's going to be on New Polaris Rhapsody. Certainly a map that we have seen played many times with PvP, a very popular PvP map. It generally involves Blink almost all the time up to this point, whenever it's played in PvP. It's a good map for that. There's also Warp Prism possibilities that can be brought into play. Is Squirtle up to the challenge? Mana's PvP is historically not his best matchup. I will certainly say that for a fact. Squirtle, statistically right now, is. He has a 61% win ratio in that matchup. What has he played against recently, though? It's perhaps the most important data to really start crunching. He lost to Hush in Pro League. He got 2-0 by parting in Codes. He lost to Classic. He lost to Creator. He lost to Sora at IEM World Championship. Like, he has lost a lot of PvP lately. A huge amount. And that scares me for IM here. It really does. Let's see if he can put one on the board. To the southeast position. In the blue trunks for Team Liquid. Could be their last man here. Could he make it the all-kill? We'll find out. He's playing Protoss and his name is Mana. Versus his opponent to the northwest position, in fact. In the red trunks, also playing Protoss, the mightiest of Pokemon, he is Incredible Miracle Squirtle. I almost said chin Pokemon there. I realized it would have been 1, irrelevant, 2, horribly racist. Let's not do that. Looks like a bad idea. Yeah, I gotta say, Squirtle's PvP form lately has not impressed me. He has lost pretty much every PvP with the exception of a game against Terminator that he was sent out to do in Pro League. Last year, he was pretty good, like he 4-0'd San, which is impressive. San's PvP is incredible. But the problem is, it's not 2013 anymore. I suppose it really depends as to how much Squirtle is prepared on this map. Hopefully he's prepared a little bit, because otherwise he's in a bit of trouble. Mana going for the gas. We might see double gas on 15 here for Squirtle. In fact, we will. There we go. So, kind of a stylistic decision from both players. The question is, does Mana go for another gas after this? Yes, he does. Likes to just get that gas out a little bit earlier. It doesn't really ultimately make a huge amount of difference one way or the other. Nothing in this particular game that I think we should be noting too much. So almost every PvP on this map has gone either 1 or 2 base blink in PvP. Which is not really surprising. You want a lot of mobility on this map. There's a good amount of places you can exploit with blink. This area right here at the back of both of the mains can be exploited to blink from main to natural here. Squirtle with the Cyber Core slightly earlier than Mana. No real difference, though, at this point. 2 in each gas, and 3 in each gas for Mana. Okay. So what's he going to go for? I can't imagine it's going to be anything other than Blink, but I suppose there are other possibilities we just haven't seen played yet. Second gateway going down here for Squirtle. Can be very indicative of the Blink players coming, but it could be something else. Could it be DTs? Maybe. Certainly. If it's a second gateway, this is definitely not a Stargate here for Squirtle. Seems highly unlikely. Mana is, of course, going to see that. Stalkers are going to start to pop out here. And the natural transition out of that, particularly with this pylon right at the back, where it can sort of snuggle away that Twilight Council, would be a Blink play. What will Mana go for, though? That's what I'm interested in. Mana putting down another pylon. Squirtle keeping an eye on it. They're both kind of suspicious of each other right now. I don't blame him. Neither player really wants to commit to tech yet. I like the pylon positioning here for Squirtle. That's good. It's going to spot for things like Warp Prism Drop and Blinks, which is always good. Plus, you can secret away a little bit of tech there. Alright, so both players have their gas. Where are they going? Where are they going from here? What's the tech? Well, Mana is going to build his Twilight Council. What's Squirtle going to do? He's building 2 more Stalkers. No tech from Squirtle as of yet. Interesting. Alright, here comes the Lava Surge. Well, so no one is going to be caught out by this as of yet, by the looks of it. Actually, hang on. I think... Will Squirtle get caught out by this? Is he going to get roasted? Nope. Never mind. He is not. It's only kind of the middle of the map that gets smacked like that. So that's fine. But his probe kind of got found, which is not ideal. You generally don't want that to happen. What is Squirtle's tech path? He's just building another gateway. Is he just going full on 4 gates here? Let's do 3-gate Robo. Alright, okay. So, no Blink Stalkers, but most likely Immortals. Mana, I'm just waiting for him to start his Blink. There it is. So, Mana is going to go 3-gate Blink, possibly 4-gate Blink on 1 base. Whereas we're going to see 3 gateways from Squirtle a little bit earlier. So, that means Squirtle will actually have a slightly larger army. Only slightly. Squirtle's also preparing to attack, strangely enough. This is an interesting idea. Hit before your opponent's Blink is done. Okay, that could work. And Mana's not paying attention. And as a result, this Stalker might die. Yep, it should. Yep, by all rights. But the force field is there. Gets a pylon down, but I don't think that's going to survive. Actually, yeah, I didn't think so. If it had a few more hit points on it, it might have survived long enough, but... Well, this attack is so far, I mean, not really working. It's going to kill a couple of sentries, certainly, but it's not really doing that much. He's kind of backing off here. He doesn't have Blink to get out, so that's a bit of a problem. And I think he's just going to leave now. So that Stalker advantage that he had is now evaporated. So why was that? He must have been thinking, alright, my opponent's doing this. He's not going to have sentries. I can get in there and do damage. Well, it didn't work, and... Now Squirtle is at half the Stalker count and doesn't have Blink. So he's going to rely on Immortals and Photon Overcharge here to survive. I'm not too keen on that. Not only that, but he's also put a pylon down in a position where it'll get killed by the lava, which is not really what you want. So I just don't really understand what Squirtle's aim was there. Again, I assume he thought, hey, there's an opening here that I can do damage, but Mana could now build up so many Stalkers that he's just able to kill him. That's what's really concerning. It seems like he's building an observer to be super safe. And also, of course, to give him that blink range. Maybe he doesn't want to risk his photon overcharge. Squirtle has a bunch of sentries, but what's that going to do against blink stalkers? Not too much. It's not going to be that helpful. It'll reduce the damage incoming, certainly, until the sentries get picked off, but force field doesn't make a lot of difference. Not against blink. And Mana's going to go for it. He doesn't have the units yet, so I think he's going to find that out as soon as he goes up that ramp. He's going to spot the Immortal, and he's going to say, nope! Nope, don't want that. And he's got his own expansion coming up as well, so, I mean, in my opinion, in all aspects, Mana is ahead here, but he doesn't have the unit count to really make this work, so while Squirtle was not really able to make his aggression work early on, there's no way that Mana can really attack into 3 Immortals. And Mana, I think, knows this, and is showing no indication that he wants to either. Squirtle got a Zealot in. I want to assume he ran it in from this pylon. Didn't really do much. It's like Mana's killed 2 workers, and he's killed 0. Mana's kind of looking for a spot. As we can see, force fields don't do much against blink stalkers. But now the game will continue. And Squirtle kind of got away with it. After that initial blunder, he was able to. And it was that earlier robo, the constant Immortal production, getting up 3 Immortals means that he's pretty much safe against blink now. Until Mana decides, you know what, I want to attack. I want to bring in my units. Mana's also going to be, of course, a little bit careful about the lava. Lava is now coming up. And I think that'll be a dead pylon. I actually haven't seen a building die to lava before, so I have to double check. Yep, there it is. It's roasted. So that's a little annoying there for Squirtle. Don't ever really want to lose a pylon for free, but it happened. Alright, well, safe for another 5 minutes from the ravages of the lava. And now we're rolling into kind of the weird mid-game where Squirtle's finally getting his Twilight at 10 minutes in. Both players having built a forge, both players working on +1. Both players ridiculously even to the point where their supplies are identical. Slightly larger army for Mana, but it doesn't matter because, in hell, all the power units are up that ramp. You don't want to blink into that, not without a critical mass of units. You really want to try and transition out. Squirtle's going to go for a Warp Prism play. I love that. Great map for it. Really good map for it. You can warp in both sides of this. Be very, very annoying. You can basically do the annoying stuff that Terran's known for with their medevacs. And you can just drop here, drop there, drop everywhere, go into the main, go into the natural. And then a Stargate follow-up here for Squirtle, which is interesting. I have to wonder if that's going to be Void Rays. It might be. He's also building Charge as well, so just a cornucopia of wonderful tech coming out here. And Templar Archives. How much gas does this guy have? Jeez. It's like, hey, we're just going to build all the technology. Well, Mana was actually going for Colossus. And he will start to build that. But, of course, if the Immortal count gets too high here from Squirtle, the Colossus won't necessarily be a good idea. Archon's pretty good for tanking Immortal shots. Very good at tanking them. That said, they can be effectively kited by Immortals as well, and they don't do much damage to them either. So it's kind of like the slowest fight in history, watching an Immortal go onto that. Fleet Beacon for Squirtle. Fleet Beacon? I mean, I'd say for Anion Pulse Crystals, but Tempest, I have to assume Tempest. It's got to be for Tempest, surely. It's like, oh, my opponent's going Colossus, I'm going to build Tempest then. Yeah, it must be for Tempest. Okay. 2-base Tempest. Alright, okay. Well, this turned out the most passive game in history up to this point. There was a degree of excitement early on, then everything calmed down and got civilized all of a sudden. They didn't know any better. I think both of these players were British. Warp Prism drop is on the way, though. Squirtle looking for the Zealot damage, and he should go right into the main with this, if he's got any sense. He could, of course, place it down there, just go for kind of a Zealot run by. The SimCity's really good here by Mana, though. Look at what he's done here. Like, this has got to be deliberate, the way that he's designed this. Any attempt to warp in back here with Zealots is going to result in them running into these buildings. Like, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to give him additional time. There's the Tempest coming out here for Squirtle. So, that's his answer. I wonder if this is going to get spotted. The Hallucinated Oracle is going to come in, and it's going to see something building. He might see it's Tempest. I don't think he saw the Fleet Beacon. Yeah, Fleet Beacon is over there, so he didn't scout that, but it doesn't really matter that much. He knows it's the Tempest now. And that's fine, you know, the first Tempest is now out in the field. A couple more Tempests, and these Colossus aren't really going to work for Mana. That's going to be a rather annoying engagement. And I have to imagine that considering Mana's invested a lot in this tech path, he's a little bit miffed to see Tempest out so early. It's like, oh, well, this sucks. Alright, well, I'm going to start teching out to something else. This could be a problem, because Squirtle is keeping up with him in every aspect. He looks like he has a slightly smaller army. He does, but he's got the counter to Colossus sorted out. We're seeing Archons coming in from Squirtle as well. He's preparing. A third base is coming up for both players. And again, we see passive play from both guys. Pretty sure Squirtle will not lose this pylon this time, which would be nice. Don't want to see that happening. This probe is currently safe as long as it doesn't run into the lava, which would be quite silly. We will not see that. Ooh, probe almost got caught. But thankfully it did not. I don't know what I was expecting out of Mana and Squirtle, honestly. Yep, it's going to be a passive game. Is anyone really surprised by that? Probably not. Not with these two. They're both going to max out and then they're going to attack, most likely. We're seeing fairly similar force compositions, but Mana has stopped building Colossus because he knows there's Tempest coming out. And if Squirtle overdoes it on the Tempest, then he could be in trouble. He is going to build up to a count of 4, which of course is a great number against Colossus. Huge amounts of damage that can be inflicted. Nothing wrong with that. But if he keeps building Tempest, then he's going to be in a bit of trouble, because those Tempests don't really do much else. They kind of pick away at armies very, very slowly, and he'd be better off with other units that are less expensive. I mean, these are capital class units. They're big. They're very big. Alright, Mana is posturing on the map. He's looking to attack the third base. Mothership Core is moving in. In the meantime, a Zealot Warpin comes in, and Squirtle is trying to work on this base. Alright, Squirtle trying to position. He wants to try and get these Colossus. And he gets the shot off. He initially gets some of the Archons, which is maybe not where you... It's actually not target firing here, which is not so good, but the fight is on here. And now he's target firing on the Colossus. 4 shots doesn't quite kill a Colossus, but it gets it pretty damn close. All of these Colossus will die. Zealot's now at the frontier. And Mana's force is starting to batter its way through. The Immortal count is actually in favor of Mana significantly. Mana with the Archons at the frontier, and he just smashes Squirtle's army. There are more units coming in, though. The warp-in has happened, and Squirtle is starting to do damage to the main. Mana actually gets all his probes stuck, and the SimCity works against him here. Third base will be forfeit, but the third base was already forfeit here. And there's no answer to these Tempests either. So Mana is very, very slowly going to lose his units. Doesn't have the energy to recall either. So that was a bit of a weird fight between these two. The damage is continuing to happen, though. This warp-in is doing its work. Mana is taking economic damage. Squirtle is warping in units to try and do more, and he might lose this warp prism here if he's not paying attention, and he is clearly not paying attention. Okay, so that's going to die. But we do have these Zealots continuing to work away at the main. The natural is currently unmolested, so I suppose that's a bit of a blessing here for Mana, but let's have a look at what was lost in that fight, because it looked like it was going Mana's way, and it kind of was. I mean, Squirtle lost 4 Immortals there. He lost 2 of his Tempests, 3 Archons, a couple of Stalkers, and of course his third base. However, Mana lost 2 Colossus, lost 4 Archons, managed to get out, lost like a lot of Stalkers as well, although not quite as many Zealots. And then was able to get out with most of his Immortals. So I think, honestly, that Mana does come off with the better count there. Keeping all of those high-value Immortals alive, especially giving them the opportunity to recharge their shields, is very important. And it's going to give Mana a lot of firepower going into the next engagement. Admittedly, they also don't shoot up, but Squirtle's army is not very big. A couple of Tempests that are really not going to do much in this situation. They're going to kind of slowly pick away. And I think Mana just wants to go and knock down that third base again, and he should be able to get it without too much of a problem. If he goes up the ramp, will he actually try and attack here? He could. I mean, there are still 3 Immortals. I don't know if you necessarily want to do that. The Archons are tanking the Immortal shots quite well, but they will fall eventually with this amount of focus fire. Will Mana actually have enough to fully break this? Squirtle says, no, you don't. Don't even try. Drives him away here. Keeps all 3 of his Immortals alive as well, which is nice. Lovely little pick-off on the way out there by Mana. But now the Zealot Warpin comes in and tries to do damage. Tries to take out and cancel his third base. The third base is being rebuilt here for Mana as well. So things are looking okay. Up goes the lava. And it shouldn't kill anything. No, it does not. The pylon just kind of on the edge of what's safe there. Third base is being cancelled, though. Warp Prism is also dead. So Squirtle is not in a great spot. He is now oversaturated on his natural. His main is basically mined out here, whereas the third base just established here for Mana. And Mana isn't even mined out in his main either, I assume because of the harassment. Squirtle looking for a cleanup here to try and maybe re-establish that base. Takes down a pylon, tries to do a little bit more damage, but Mana is, I think at this point, clearly ahead. Army supply is slightly in favor of Squirtle, though. Will those 2 Tempests really make the difference? And a slightly higher Immortal count? Maybe, but we're seeing a fairly heavy Zealot force here coming out of Mana, and the Archon count for Squirtle is not that big. So, this is... I don't know how to call this fight. It could go either way. I'm not going to attempt to call it until the fight actually comes in, but Squirtle really wants to take control of this map back, get his third base back up, but he's going to lose a lot of time mining. He's long-distance mining at the moment. This is going to give Mana a critical opportunity to really do a lot in terms of rebuilding his army faster than his opponent. And we can already see the army supply of Mana has exceeded Squirtle's, and will continue to do so, assuming he doesn't lose any more units like that. Squirtle now coming around the flank here. Mana knows that his third base is vulnerable. A couple of Zealots did get warped in. They didn't really do too much, though. Cannons being put in there as well to try and deter further incursions. And Squirtle is now trying to find a position. Most of Mana's army is kind of on the third base, but it could sweep around to the natural very easily. It's not a very long distance. So this could be a bit risky here for Squirtle. His immortal count is still actually kind of... He's got 7 immortals. Only 6 of them are with his army, though. He needs to bring the rest in. He's got another Archon as well. I mean, that is a big hitting force. And it doesn't sound particularly good against Archons, but they can kite Archons quite well. They can also snipe Nexus very effectively. This is risky, though. He's going in without a Mothership Core. I mean, this is kind of do or die. If he gets trapped and doesn't win this fight, this is going to be a disaster. Where's his Mothership Core? He doesn't have one. He's going right in for it. Squirtle is going to fight here. The Zealots get the absolutely fantastic surround here on top of those Immortals. All the Immortals are going to die here. This is actually suicide for Squirtle? I mean, he's going to lose his entire army here. There's no question about that. Another Immortal runs right into this, and this is game over. Surely. Surely that's game over. Maybe not, but he lost so much. I don't know why he did that without his Mothership Core. He didn't even have a Mothership Core. And that's a GG, and Liquid takes an all-kill yet again. Wow. Squirtle... I'm scratching my head at that one. Like, okay, go in there with a Mothership Core. I wonder if he just didn't realize he had a Mothership Core with him. But that's a rookie mistake. That's not the kind of thing you would expect out of Squirtle. Mana with the completion of the all-kill here, and I am looking pretty out of sorts, I've got to say. That was suicidal. I mean, he had to know. He had to know his opponent's army was at the third, and he could just come around and block him from retreating. So I'm really not 100% sure what Squirtle's plan was there. I think maybe he just realized, look, I'm too far behind. I lost my third twice. I've just got to go for it. But I would have at least waited for a Mothership Core with recall energy. Well, there you go, folks. An all-kill for Team Liquid. Quite surprising, I think, for a lot of people. I am not looking on form today. Liquid, on the other hand, very much doing work. And once again, the foreigners fighting. Snoop, Bunny... and Mana, all picking up their respective wins, and Tasia coming out and just finishing things off in fine style. Liquid kind of looking untouchable. And I'm going to be honest, aside from the 2v2, there wasn't a game that looked close in that series. So Team Liquid on fine form. They did lose, of course, to MVP in the previous Clan War, but they do put one on the board for themselves now, and very much, again, thanks to the foreigners. I am not looking in good shape. I guess they've been very, very busy with Pro League. Hopefully, once this particular round is over, they'll have a little bit of time, and they'll be able to prepare a little bit better for the Clan Wars. Aside from that, though, what we see is, again, the foreigner versus Korean ratio declines again. This is like the only tournament in the world where Koreans are the underdogs. Don't know what's going on with that, but hey, can't argue with the stats, folks. Well, I did say Squirtle hasn't won a PvP in a very long time. Not in televised play at any rate. Not for the last 2 months. Last one was against Terminator. He's lost every other PvP he's come up in. And I think it kind of showed there. Mana just played it cool and calm. Took the third out twice. Very nice fights, good engagements. Maybe an overcommittal to Tempest from Squirtle. But aside from that, just not really able to get the damage done. I would have loved to see another Warp Prism come out from Squirtle. Just to snipe key tech structures or just do more damage to the natural. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Alright, there you go, folks. That wraps us up for March's Clan Wars. This was the last event for March. We'll be bringing you more Clan Wars in April. I'd like to, of course, thank you very much for watching. A big thanks to our sponsors, MLG.TV. They paid out $5,000 in prize money this month. They will pay out another $5,000 next month, and more for the rest of the year. $60,000 in total available for these teams to win, and Team Liquid takes home the lion's share of it today. My name has been TotalBiscuit. Thank you very much for watching. If you missed any of this, the rerun will begin directly after this show, and you'll be able to watch the full VOD over on youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. I'll see you next time.